Good evening. If any FA Cup tie exemplifies the disparity between the rich and the poor, it's Oxford United versus Chelsea. The rich kids from the King's Road visit the boys from the Manor whose very existence is under threat. Former Oxford manager Mark Lawrenson will have his say on the game later. But first, the match itself. The commentators at the Manor Ground are Davies and John Champion.
The city of dreaming spires tonight becomes the city of aspiring dreams. For perhaps the last time, this engagingly ramshackle ground plays host to a major cup occasion. With a full house of 9,000 and a sloping pitch, the Manor Ground has never been a place for timid visitors. Equally, Oxford United have never been so grateful for a payday. £11 million in debt, and with a half-built stadium decaying nearby, the future seems mightily uncertain. But for now, these are the players who remain to do battle. Two have already been sold to pacify the bank. Their prime asset, Joey Beecham, is suspended, and on-loan goalkeeper Paul Gerrard is ineligible. So rookie Elliot Jackson plays for only the third time this season. Paul Tate, signed from Birmingham last week, makes his home debut, and the enigmatic Dean Windus, who wants to leave, leads the line. Chelsea are as strong as they can be without Flo, Poyet and Kazaragi. 18-year-old John Terry plays at right back because Lombard has a groin injury, and whereas 6 of Oxford's team cost nothing, 6 of Chelsea's played at the World Cup finals, and that tally doesn't include Zola and Vialli. The contrasts between these sides are apparently endless. Suffice it to say that anything other than a Chelsea win would be a major surprise. For Oxford, a draw and a lucrative replay would be perhaps the best result of all. And sitting alongside me in a cramped main stand, fully occupied of course, is David Pleat. What are you expecting from this tie, David?
Well, we have got to hope that Oxford stay with the game as long as possible, hopefully get a break and make it really exciting. They've only scored 19 goals at home this season. They've been under all sorts of pressures.
Free kick swung in early and headed away by Leboeuf as far as Paul Tate. Now Martin Gray. Hooked in looking for Gilchrist, and De Hoey is out to take it.
But I think the most important thing is they get a good supply of ball to Murphy and Windass up front. Windass, their main hope of scoring. If Chelsea get hold of the ball and maintain possession, they really have the ability to make it very, very difficult indeed for Oxford.
And now Terry trying to fend off Windus. Desai. Vialli. Petrescu again, the most advanced Chelsea player, and Jackson has come a long way out. In the end, it was a decent decision. Tate battling with Desai for the space by the near post, and here's Di Matteo. Some lovely footwork, and the tackle by Tate, only as far as Petrescu. Desai. Oxford should clear this with danger. Zola. Leboeuf. Now Vialli, and Leboeuf wants it back, but he may have strayed offside. There was an appeal, but nothing's been given, and he was allowed to continue.
Well, it was a very strong surging run there by Frank Leboeuf. I don't think he was offside, and when he whacks that ball across, I think Mr. Wise would have been too happy searching for space at the near post there.
Fit the outside of the post. Petrescu through the legs of Gray to Di Matteo. Murphy. Cook. Windass is the only player through the centre. It's hoisted anywhere but where Leboeuf meant. Wise. Vialli. Petrescu through the middle. Zola on this near flank. Here's John Terry. Di Matteo. Leboeuf. Gilchrist's header away. Murphy intercepted by Di Matteo. Well, to get the ball, they need to keep it for a little longer than they are doing. This is Di Matteo. And now Vialli. Watson coming across, and he made the block. Still the danger isn't away though. And two Oxford players getting in one another's way, but ultimately the danger is cleared.
Great challenge by Watson.
Gilchrist. Little nudge there involving Dewberry and Murphy, and the free kick has been given against the Chelsea defender. Windus waiting. Dangerous kick. Watson! And the punch by De Hoey under pressure from Matt Murphy. That's as close as Oxford have come.
There's a fine ball in by Banger. There we see it, deep and swerving, nasty ball to defend. And the fine save by De Hoey, very alert.
Good anticipation, and Murphy now waits for the corner kick. Taken by Banger. Leboeuf. Out to Paul Tate. Lasso. Zola. Taken silkily in his stride. Now Petrescu. Fortune of the bounce, but didn't keep possession. Cook. Banger. Windass. Wasn't the best of return passes. And Banger in his frustration held back Petrescu. Malcolm Shotton, who took charge of Oxford a year ago this weekend. And it's been a sometimes rocky ride since, because of all the financial problems facing the club. Terry. Flag up against Vialli. Rueful look from Chelsea's player manager. There's no question about the validity of that decision though. Watson's kick. Murphy, case for foot up, given by the referee against Michael Dewberry. Now this is in a position of some promise for Oxford, because they do in their ranks have one of the best exponents of set pieces outside the Premiership in Dean Windus. Cook presumably is just a decoy, because Windus won't get many chances. It is. It's Dean Windus. Oh! Grazed the frame of the goal. Agonisingly close.
Well, the buff there took a chance. He went to the back post, then he edged forward. It was just a shade wide.
Graham Lasso. And yet again it's Vialli who provides the best option for the player in possession. And that was a shove over by Robinson. And now it's Chelsea's turn to have a free kick in a position of some danger.
There's a superb run by Vialli. As soon as he plays the ball away, he's always on the move.
Just over a minute to half-time. Zola! Jackson touched it over.
As a fine effort by Elliot Jackson. Perfectly timed tip over. Watch the ball all the way.
And Zola, now one of his familiar runs from the near post, as Wise takes the corner kick. Header away by Murphy. Zola. Oxford trying to hold on to this 0-0 scoreline till half-time. Here's Di Matteo. Now Lasso. Every Oxford player back in defensive mode. Terry. Zola. Another great roar as one more Oxford attack is about to unfold. Robinson. Tate just was slower than Leboeuf. Gray. Again, it's in the air. That's a good header by Windass. Gray, deflected. Corner. In the last minute of time being added on for stoppages. Oxford are finishing the half reasonably strongly. And some people wearing their colours with great pride. Dangerous kick. Oh, De Hoey, with Watson closing in behind him, and it's been tipped out as far as Windass. We've now had the 3 minutes of time added on. And that is indeed half-time, and to great applause, Oxford leave the field with their job half done. Dean Windass desperately close with that free kick just beyond the angle of post and bar. The modes of preparation for this cup tie were vastly different. Chelsea spent a week in Tenerife. Oxford went to the races, which were then cancelled because of fog, but by Chelsea's own high standards, they've not really been at the races. And at half-time at this cramped manor ground, this intriguing tie remains goalless. Well, the famous manor ground sloping pitch now has a part to play if Oxford are to achieve their objective. It's a slope that has aided them knock out the likes of Manchester United from the League Cup in the past, and 5 top-flight sides have perished in the FA Cup down the years at the hands of Oxford. Kevin Francis may well be joining the fray before too long in this AXA-sponsored FA Cup 4th round tie. Here's Di Matteo, now Wise. Wise tumbled over off the ball and then squared up to Martin Gray. 2 characters made in more or less the same mould. The adjective spiky could have been invented for the pair of them.
Well, Wise has been playing wideish on the left. Here we see it. Just got a tug there as he played the ball, and then Wise wanted to run the game for Mr. Reid. Fortunately for Wise, Mr. Reid had already spotted in his favour.
The free kick taker is Zola, who can curl these wonderfully. Sound take by Jackson. So far so good for the 21-year-old keeper.
I had a little fear there that Jackson was overcompensating, looking as though Zola might cross it, but he quickly got back in towards the centre of his goal so he could pick up the shot.
Windass. Gray. Danger in behind Lasso, tussling with Lasso and winning a corner. Lasso has turned away convinced it should have been a goal kick, but a corner kick has been given.
I can't help feeling that man Banger could give some troubles to Lasso. He's very competitive, he's got a bit of pace. With a supply of ball, I think it could be a little bit of trouble for Chelsea.
It's at moments like this that the London Road Terrace tries to suck the ball in. Cook's corner kick, it's in! Dean Windass has scored for Oxford with a classic near-post header from a set-piece. And the player who wants to leave the manor ground puts Oxford United in front in their biggest game for many a long year. Clever header too, adjusted his body position, got in front of the defender Terry and nodded it past a static De Hoey.
Yeah, no one on the line to cover that ball where they see the value of 2 men on the line. There's Malcolm Shotton. I wonder if I'll have the same feelings at the end of this game. But that will really make Chelsea come at them. They need a little bit more quality in the midfield as the game has gone so far.
Dean Windass. The goal coming 7 minutes into the second half, and now of course is the crucial time for Oxford. These minutes that follow the goal when they have to hang on in there, but Dean Windass, who has been something of a Romany in his football career, he's never settled anywhere for very long, has scored a potentially priceless goal. But there's still an awful lot of time to go. Dewberry, Watson, Dennis Wise, well struck. Oh, and well gathered as well by the goalkeeper. Just for an agonising second it rolled loose.
That was a nasty bounce in front of Jackson.
Free kick given against the goal scorer, Windass. And the free kick taken instantaneously as well. Petrescu, here's Vialli, Watson struggling. Well, Elliot Jackson is having quite a night of it. Dean Windass' 13th goal of the season. And the scouts are here tonight from a couple of Premiership clubs, wondering whether they should acquire his services. But Oxford won't sell while they're still in the FA Cup. And after that goal, the run might just extend beyond tonight. And the huge roar around the Manor is for the introduction of the tallest player, outfield player, in league football, who has not kicked a ball in anger for Oxford all season. Matt Murphy is coming off, and his replacement is a player who is unmistakable. He has had a succession of knee operations. He is in truth far from fully fit, but he carries all the hopes of Oxford United as Malcolm Shotton makes this change with 29 minutes to go. On comes Kevin Francis. Gray. Now Cook. Francis is trying not to be noticed, but that's difficult at his size. And whilst he wasn't being noticed, Cook very nearly was.
Well, refreshingly positive there by Cook, inside then outside. And a firm strike. Just lost his angle slightly.
Header was short from Watson. Robinson had no realistic chance of getting to it. This is Zola. Gilchrist, the other central defender, covered for his colleague's error. Lasso. Tackle was by Banger. Tate's made the run. Francis ahead of him. Oh, Leboeuf has gone down clutching his knee, but Tate is ploughing on regardless. Gray to Powell. Leboeuf still down. And to great applause, Oxford still coming forward with Powell. And here's Kevin Francis. Missed it completely, and so did Jamie Cook. What a double miss.
Well, well, well. Francis, a wonderful chance. The referee had no alternative. He's got to let them go. He can't stop playing until the ball is dead. Wonderful chance for Francis. And then, well, has Cook let them off the hook.
Well, on a night that Oxford supporters will always remember because of what's already happened. Is that a seminal moment? 16 minutes to go, and it should have been 2-0. It is, though, only 1.
And Bialy's having a talk now with Ricks, discussing what possibilities. Here we see Tate certainly went in after the ball. He certainly caught Leboeuf there. The referee's obviously missed it, because if he'd have seen it, Tate might be walking.
Yes, it was a bad challenge. Well, Paul Tate being accused by Bialy, and Mike Reid having to act as peacemaker, and now on the bench, a little set to involving Leboeuf and Malcolm Shotton and Mark Harrison stepping in.
Well, Malcolm Shotton would be advised to stay calm. His team is staying calm. They need a calm manager out there too. Forget the conflict, keep playing the football.
So the stepped over, chance for Di Matteo, keeper to beat. Great block. Watson and Banger hurled themselves in the path of the shot, and Watson's touch took it behind.
Yeah, not for the first time tonight. Watson making a superb challenge.
So, here comes the next threat. Zola's kick. Tate's header away, hit the referee. Might work in Chelsea's favour. Lasso. Gilchrist. Desai appeals for handball. Shot from Wise, good save by Jackson, fully extended.
Well, no one will be leaving early tonight. Super strike. Well saved, young man.
Time for the biting of nails, for the issuing of a silent prayer. Francis. Keep the ball all night if he could. Oh, that was a push by Francis. There are hardly any fingernails left. Leboeuf's free kick. Did that flick Gilchrist's scalp? The referee says yes, it did. It's a corner. There's only a mere brush, but it is a chance for Chelsea in the second minute of added time. Leboeuf is forward. Everyone but the goalkeeper is forward. Dewberry underneath it. Francis got a touch. Leboeuf. Vialli couldn't turn. Clumsy tackle. Penalty given. Mike Reid has awarded a penalty to Chelsea. Kevin Francis looks in disbelief. He took the ball, but the referee has given a penalty.
Well, there's no question that he didn't go for the ball, and at worst it was a simultaneous touch of the ball, at worst.
Oh, well, that, in the context of this occasion, could be a terrible decision. It looked from the replay a wrong decision, and now it's down to the goalkeeper. 21-year-old Elliot Jackson. Frank Leboeuf charged with the responsibility of saving Chelsea in the FA Cup. Oh, and he's done it! It's crept in, and Chelsea, thanks to the most fortuitous of refereeing decisions, are still in the FA Cup, and Oxford, unfairly, are down on their knees. Remember, Mike Reid is the referee who gave a penalty in equally controversial circumstances against Leicester City in a fifth-round tie in Chelsea's favour 2 years ago, and was widely castigated. And I have to say, although I hate to say it, that he has got it badly wrong here tonight. It will rank in FA Cup history alongside decisions like David Ellery's at Old Trafford when he denied Chesterfield a clear goal in a semi-final. Malcolm Shotton is livid. There are almost tears in his eyes. Tate. Remy. And now we have had the 4 minutes of time added on. And there is a stunned silence around the Manor ground, the like of which you rarely experience in a sports stadium. One of disbelief. But Oxford have perhaps one last chance. Mike Reid, the central figure, for his award of a penalty. Leboeuf took advantage, and it's 1-1. With this perhaps the final attack of the match. If there was any justice in the world, then Oxford would capitalise. De Huy with the punch. Mike Reid looks at his watch. Remy. Paul Tate. We've now had 4.5 minutes of time added on. And Oxford look like a side that's taken a hammer blow to the chin. The one consolation is that a lucrative replay beckons. Remy with the throw. Babayara's header. Gilchrist towards Windass. Little struggle on the far post. The clearance by the goalkeeper. Referee still plays on. We're now in the 6th minute of time that he's decided to add. Surely that must be it. It is. And Malcolm Shotton's face tells the story of one of the great FA Cup injustices, of a penalty that shouldn't have been given but was awarded 3 minutes into stoppage time. It means, via Mike Reid's decision, that Chelsea live on in this season's FA Cup. Frank Leboeuf scored it. There are still arguments about the validity of the award, and instead of leaving to a wonderful ovation, Oxford and Chelsea leave the field amidst boos and shakes of the head of long-standing supporters. There is, of course, the consolation of a highly lucrative replay on Wednesday week at Stamford Bridge. Dean Windass's goal should have put Oxford through, but fate conspired against them. In financial terms, a good result, but they were so close to going through with one of their finest ever FA Cup victories.
Malcolm, you've had a chance to look again at the penalty incident. What is your view?
on reflection?
I think Kevin's took the ball. If he's come from behind, then you know you can understand the referee giving the penalty, but he's come from the side, he's took the ball, and in my view I don't think it's a penalty.
What was your thought at the time watching it with the naked eye?
I didn't think it was a penalty. No, I don't want to get myself into trouble with anybody, so you know I want to see everything else before I make any comment.
The lads are disappointed, you know, they don't think it was a penalty, but you know, Mike Reid was saying it was, and they said they'd give it at the other end, you know, so you got to sort of go with the referee's decision, you know, it's his decision on that, and that's fine.
You were the player that was tackled.
Yeah.
What would you say about the challenge?
I would say that was a very clumsy challenge because I couldn't do anything. I had my back to the goal, but that was definitely penalty because I was caught on my left foot. So the referee spotted it and gave us a penalty. But looking at the game, overall I think they played better than us and they should have gone through.
I don't think we deserve to draw today. I think we play very bad. We didn't play very well against Coventry. We didn't play very well tonight. But we're still in the cup, so we have to play another game, and we'll see.
Well, a real choker for your old club, Oxford, Mark. But I mean, it was an outstanding performance and one full of spirit, wasn't it, from them?
Yeah, certainly. I think from the very first minute, and I thought Chelsea were very lackadaisical for most of the game and never really played with any great urgency until later on when they were chasing the game. But I think everything about Oxford was super tonight. You know, 11 heroes plus the substitutes. They were all obviously wanted it desperately. We all wrote them off before the game, and yet they really did give Chelsea a real scare.
Yeah, well, let's try and sort the penalty out. It's not the first time Mike Reid's been involved in a controversial FA Cup penalty decision. I remember it well, that one.
Well, I think it was 2 years ago, virtually to the day, of the fifth round replay at Stamford Bridge, and this is the incident. Spencer Pryor and Erland Johnson, never a penalty at all. I was also at that game as well, Gary, and that obviously cost Leicester very, very dearly. And tonight's decision as well, very, very similar insofar as here comes a corner. It's actually Francis, the culprit in Mike Reid's eyes, who gets a touch to it. Back it comes in from the berth, defended out, and it's a tackle from a side, from that angle. The referee, in fairness, is less than 10 yards away. Here we have a better view of it. He definitely plays and gets the ball there. Vialli wasn't even in control.
He said he hit his foot, Vialli, but he got the ball at the same time.
Well,
didn't
even
he?
if he hit his foot, I think he hit his foot and the ball at the same time. No penalty. Most definitely, Oxford were robbed.
Yeah. But I suppose financially it's not necessarily a bad thing. They've got to replay at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Perhaps Sheffield Wednesday fans will be the most...
Well, I think so, and I would love to know what the directors were thinking in the directors' box, the Oxford directors, thinking 1-0 up with a few minutes to go and thinking, well, you know, we're going to go to Sheffield Wednesday anyway. I suggest they might even make more money from the replay at Chelsea because of the ticket prices in London, so they will be delighted, and it may save them from selling another player. And you know, people like Dean Windass were told is next to go to pay the wages again, and he might just have a stay of execution.
Well, I mean, there were some great performances from the Oxford players today, a lot of heroic performances, as you said, but you've picked out one man in particular.
Yeah, Mark Watson, a Canadian international, released by Watford a couple of years ago, and it's all about heroic defending. It's about throwing yourself in the way, whatever part of your body you can get in the way. That's the first instance when he blocks Vialli, and eventually Oxford get enough bodies around to make the clearance, and he was always aware in the last kind of 10 yards of the game exactly what he needed to do. Here as well, I mean, he almost stumbles and he just throws himself at the ball, and that actually came off him again. And I mean, it's heroic defending. He was lucky, probably fortunate not to get injured in that instance. This was his best, most definitely. Di Matteo cut in from the left-hand side, and he just launched himself across, and again he makes another block. I mean, 3 instances where it was last-ditch defending, but it was excellent.
What about Chelsea though, Mark? They've been on a mid-season break in Tenerife apparently, and it looked like they were still there, some of them.
They were still, I mean, certainly they were there in body, but I don't think they were there in mind. This is the goal, this is Windass's goal from the corner. Decent ball in, Windass gets the right side as far as he's concerned, I tell you. Now, we circled the man at the far post. Now, if you can't have one on each post, the rule is you have one on the near post. You don't have one on the far post. Chelsea have a man on the near post there, the goal doesn't go in. Windass does really well, just hits the target, but the man on the line on the post, which he should have been, he would just knock that into the crowd.
Yeah, but alas, it wasn't good enough. 6th injury time goal they've scored this season, Chelsea.